You should have written down who you think is at Hugo's door right now. And let's continue reading. With a great deal of force, the door flew open, and for a moment all Hugo could see was green. The station inspector burst in like a hurricane, followed immediately by Madame Emile and Monsieur Frick. The station inspector grabbed Hugo by the arm. Hugo yelled out, and to his horror, he dropped the mechanical man, which landed on the ground with an awful ringing crash. "That's him!" yelled Madame Emile. "He's been stealing milk and croissants from me for months." "I saw the whole thing," cried Monsieur Frick. "He's a thief." "Thank you both very much. I'm glad you were able to follow the boy. Now, please, I'll take care of things from here." "What is this place?" asked Monsieur Frick, looking around. "It's the timekeeper's apartment," said the station inspector. "The timekeeper?" shrieked Madame Emile. Turning white as ghosts, she and Monsieur Frick ran from the doorway of Hugo's room. The station inspector rolled his eyes and now focused his attention on Hugo, who was writhing in his arms. "Stay still," he shouted, but his face changed immediately from anger to confusion when he looked down at the bundle lying on the floor. "What is going on in here? What is that?" Other details about the station inspector, things that Hugo had never noticed before, came into focus. The man had bad teeth. The top part of one of his ears was missing. He smelled slightly of cabbages. The station inspector, not letting go of Hugo, leaned over and moved the fabric until he could see the mechanical man lying on its side, its neck bent backward. "What in the world?" he said. The station inspector walked around the room, dragging Hugo after him, poking his head into doors and cabinets. At last, he came to the pile of Uncle Claude's unopened paychecks. "What has happened to the timekeeper? How did you know about his apartment here in the station and the tunnels in the walls? Where is he?" "Please, my fingers are broken. Grab my other arm. It hurts too much," Hugo cried. The station inspector saw the bandages and loosened his grip, at which point, like a wild animal, Hugo escaped. And here's where all the pictures start, lots of them. So we see the station inspector watching Hugo run away. Hugo just escaped from him. And then if we turn the page, I'm going to try and push the book farther away so you can see. We see Hugo, kind of a up-close look at Hugo's legs and feet as he's running. Turn the page again, get a closer view. Hugo's foot on the ground. His other foot's up in the back that shows he's running. And now we see, there's Layla. Now we see Hugo still running, but looking behind him. So he's checking to see where the station inspector is, how close he is to him. Turn the page again. Now we have Hugo going up a set of stairs. I wonder where he's going to end up. Oh, now the station inspector is pointing up the stairs, so he knows where Hugo has gone. Now we see Hugo. Hugo's leaning against the wall because he's tired. He's hiding around a corner because we can see the station inspector's shadow over here. So the station inspector's coming down the hall. He doesn't realize Hugo's on the other side. I wonder if Hugo knows the station inspector is there. If I turn the page again, now I see the station inspector's hand. What is his hand on? It's kind of hard to tell. Maybe it's on Hugo's shoulder. Let me turn the page. Up. It must have been. And when Hugo felt his hand on his shoulder, Hugo took off running. Now we have the station inspector again chasing after Hugo. And now we have Hugo climbing a ladder. Oh, there he is. There's the clock. Hugo's been up here before with Isabel, so he's hiding behind the great big clock that looks out onto Paris. I wonder if the station inspector knows that he went up there. Let's see. That is the picture. Let me see. Is Hugo wearing a hat? No. This is a picture of the clock from outside looking in. It looks like there's someone standing behind the clock. Is that Hugo? Let me see. Now we have Hugo taking off running again because that was the station inspector. And now it looks like Hugo has escaped through a grate in the side of the wall. So Hugo has gone through these little passages in the sides of the walls before. And now he's out in the outside. And so there's all these people here. So maybe that'll help Hugo hide a little bit more. Up, and here comes the station inspector. So station inspector is still following him, but maybe it'll be harder to find Hugo with all the people. Oh, look, station inspector's hand, and there's Hugo's leg. So he can't reach him. Hugo's probably going to keep running and hopefully hide in the crowd of people. Ooh, close up of Hugo's eye. We can tell by looking at just the expression of his eye that he's scared. So he's looking back to see where the inspector is. Last page. Crash. Hugo smashed into someone's back, fell to the floor, looked up, and saw the hand of the station inspector as it closed in on him. He tried to roll the other way, but he found himself stopped by Madame Emile and Monsieur Frick, who descended on him through the crowd like vultures. They grabbed Hugo roughly and dragged him to his feet. "Let me go!" cried Hugo. Hot tears welled in his eyes. The station inspector leaned in close to Hugo's face as the cafe owner and the newspaper man held tightly to each arm. "The only place you're going to is prison," the station inspector hissed. Now remember, we're going to have a Zoom meeting today from 1 until 2. I'll be on there during that time. You can use the web address that I posted on Canvas to log in, and we can talk about this chapter when we have all of you on Zoom. So there's no questions you have to answer today. We're just going to talk about it when we see each other on Zoom. So I'll talk to you later on today. Bye-bye.